In a previous lesson, we have learned how to join a Windows Server Core Edition to the domain. This lesson will teach you how to join a Windows 11 workstation to a domain. The process is pretty simple. You should first ensure that the workstation is online as well as the Windows domain controller. On the Windows 11 workstation, you should ensure that the workstation can ping the domain you want to join, in our case, corp.zintech.com. For that, you need to change the DNS settings of the workstation and use as the primary DNS server the IP address of the domain controller that holds the DNS server role. Without that, the workstation couldn't reach the domain, as we can test by pinging the domain name corp.zintech.com. The ping request could not find host corp.zintech.com, and this is because we are not using the correct DNS server to resolve this domain name. So let's change the DNS settings for this machine. I right-click on the Start menu, then I click on Settings. In the search bar, I type Ethernet, then I click on Ethernet Settings. Next to the DNS Server Assignment section, click on the Edit button. Change the DNS setting from Automatic DHCP to Manual. Under the IPv4, toggle on the button, then type the IP address of the domain DNS server. For the alternate DNS server, type the Google DNS server IP address to allow the workstation to reach the internet. When done, click on the Save button. Yes, let's try a ping to the corp.zintech.com domain. Yes, this time it works. We can reach the domain. Now we can join this workstation to the domain. I go back to the settings, click on System, scroll all the way down to the bottom and click on About menu. Click on Domain or Workgroup Hyperlink. On the display window, you can see that the PC is by default member of a workgroup. Here you can see the name of the PC. By default, Windows give it the name desktop dash followed by random characters and numbers. We are going to change that. In the description field, you can give this workstation a description, for example, admin PC. Now click on the change button to change the computer name. I will type WRK for workstation, followed by NY to specify the location of this workstation. NY stands for New York City. Dash, and I can add the year of acquisition 22, followed by a sequence number 001. Naming your PCs or your servers depends on the naming convention used by your organization. If it doesn't exist, choose one that best fits your needs. On Member Of section, click on Domain. Then type the name of the domain you want to join, corp.zintech.com. Click OK to confirm. I get prompted to enter the username and the password of an account with permission to join the domain. I will use the administrator account. I type the password. OK. I get a message that welcomes me to the domain corp.zintech.com. The operation has succeeded. Perfect. Now I get prompted to restart the computer to apply the changes. Okay, let's do that. I close this window and restart the computer. I am prompted to open a session with the local account Zin. To open a session on the domain, click on Other User. I type Administrator as the username. You can notice that in the Sign In To, it shows the computer name instead of the domain name. If I go ahead, I will open a session locally and not on the domain. To specify to Windows that I want to open a session on the domain, I need to precede the administrator username by the domain name Zintech /administrator. Then I type the password. Let's check if effectively the workstation is a member of the domain corp.zintech.com. I open the settings window, click on the About menu. You can see the new name of the workstation, and the full name of the device includes the domain name. You can also check it by clicking on the domain or workgroup hyperlink. You can see here the name of the domain we have joined. You can also check that on the domain controller. Open the Tools menu, then click on Active Directory Administrative Center. On the left side, click on Computers. Here it is. Our Windows 11 workstation is officially a member of the domain corp.zintech.com. Good job, guys. Thanks for watching and see you in the next lesson.